Bienvenidos. Soy Ana de Aprende con Flowers. Today I'm going to try a little something different. We'll see how you guys like it and let me know in the comments below if there's something that you want to learn that I haven't covered yet. We're going to learn about cognates or cognados, okay? When it comes to the world of cognates, there are different kind of cognates. We're going to start off with true cognates, which are words that are written the same in both your language that your native language and then your target language, which is the language that you're translating the language into or interpreting it into. So like words like burrito and chocolate, they're written exactly the same as your native language and the target language. So don't let that confuse you. But what I'm trying to say is, you know more Spanish than you know that you know. Just like we know chocolate, we know burrito, there's other words that you may not know that you know. You know. Okay? So we have words like computadora, administración, hora, minuto, Wi-Fi. All of those are words that are just similar enough for you to be like, I think it means that. Okay? So don't let Spanish confuse you. Open your ears and be like, what do I think I hear? And then think of if you can interpret it into your language. There's more cognates than what I'm going to cover, but I want you to think about that, okay? We also have words like familia, cereal, doctor, natural, and waffle. There's other pronunciations for waffle. Some people say woofle. Yeah, I don't use it often just because I don't have waffles a lot in my day-to-day life. I more have pancakes. That's more of a Englishized Spanglishized word. Some people also say Pancakes for pancakes. Again, I don't have them often, so I don't use the words often. We also have words like sofá, hotel. Remember, the H is silent, okay? So you don't pronounce it hotel, you say hotel, okay? You also have idea. You can also do ideal, ideal. You also have parque, park, right? Restaurante, ¿quieres ir a comer a un restaurante? You're like, I know, restaurante. Sounds like restaurant. People eat in restaurants, so maybe I'm being asked, do you want to eat in a restaurant? And then you're like, holy crap, I know more than I know. Now, there are amigos falsos, false friends. Those are the false cognates, which can really, in my experience, it can destroy people's confidence. So I want to teach you the false cognates because most of them are funny, but if you're in a serious situation, you don't want to mess up and say one of these and then you run the moment or anything. But false cognates are words that sound and sometimes are even written similar to your native language, but have a completely different meaning. Okay? And we'll cover some of those. We have embarazado or embarazada. That does not mean embarrassed. Embarazado or embarazada means pregnant. To say you're embarrassed, you are avergonzado. So, estoy avergonzado or estoy avergonzada. Okay? You can also use the word vergüenza. You can, like, if you're saying, oh, how embarrassing, you can say, ay, qué vergüenza, or just qué vergüenza. You can also say, tengo mucha vergüenza. I have a lot of shame. Vergüenza is mainly used for like shame or pity, in a sense, sometimes. It's really strong word, so if it's like really embarrassing, really shameful, you would use vergüenza. But if you want to use a lighter tone, you could say qué pena, like what a shame. But vergüenza is the stronger version. Molestar. This is a very key one. If you are, and this can cause very serious problems if like you're in something happens to you and you're molested, you don't want to say, ay, me molestó. That doesn't mean what you think it means. It means to be bothersome or annoying. So if you want to say that happened to you, me abusó sexualmente, abused sexually. There's not really a good word for molest in Spanish. It's really just sexual abuse. Or you can say me tocó inapropiadamente. You touched me inappropriately. Okay? Now this one I find absolutely hilarious. It's groserías. Groserías does not mean gross, and it does not mean groceries. It means rudeness or swearing. It's mainly used when you're like a kid and you're saying things you shouldn't be saying, and your mind would say, deja de ser tan grosero. Stop being so rude or vulgar, saying words that you shouldn't be saying. If you want to say groceries, it's one of those words that like there is a word-ish for it, but it's abarrotes, and there's also consumibles. But consumibles is consumables. Abarrotes is like the best word for groceries, but in my experience, I don't use groceries. I use voy a comprar, right? I'm going shopping, or voy a comprar comida. I'm going to buy food. I don't really use groceries. I don't use abarrotes or consumibles. I just say voy de compras. This is another really good one. Librería. Librería does not mean library. It means a bookstore. So like Barnes and Noble, Borders. Can't remember any other bookstores. Oh, a half-price bookstore. Yeah, those are librerías because they sell the books. But where you go to loan books or borrow books, you go to a biblioteca. Okay? Now, this one can be funny if like you're meeting your significant other's parents and you want to say, ay, qué lindos parientes tienes. The family might be like, huh? It's just me and the mom, right? Because parientes does not mean parents. Parientes means relatives. If you want to say parents, you can say padres. Or if you're specifically talking about the father, you say padre. If you're talking about the mother, you say madre. Okay? Fabrica does not mean fabric. Fabrica means factory. Okay? In Spanish, I'm going to say this a lot, but there's not a really good translation to meaning fabric. The closest you can get is tela. You can also say tejido. You can also use tejido for tissue as well. Chocar. Chocar does not mean choke. Chocar means crash. And so if you want to say, oh, I'm choking over here, estoy ahogando, or estoy asfixiando. So ahogando is more for drowned, but you can also use it for choking, right? But asfixiar means asphyxiation, or like being without air, okay? Now we have asistir. Asistir does not mean to assist. So if you want to help someone, you don't say, ¿puedo asistirte? You say, ¿puedo ayudarte? Okay? Because asistirte means to attend, to like attend class or attend a concert. But if you want to help someone or assist them, you say ayudar, which means to help, but it also means to assist. Okay? Largo or larga does not mean large. Largo and larga mean long. So if you want to say something is really long, first you have to figure out if it's a masculine or a feminine noun. We'll talk more about that later, but for the sake, I'll give it to you. If you want to say her dress is really long, the word for dress is vestido, and that's masculine, so el vestido. So you say, su vestido está muy largo, okay? If you want to say something is large, you would use the word for grande. Now you might be saying, oh no, wait, grande means big. Yes, but it also means large. So if someone has a large house, the word for house is casa, which is feminine, so la casa. So if you want to say your house is really large or big, you can say su casa está muy grande. That one doesn't change from grande to granda. It just stays grande. But maybe someone has a really long house, right? Like their house is a one level and it goes on for miles. You can say su casa está muy larga. Okay? So just make sure you're using the word that you mean to use when you use it. Recordar. Recordar means to remember. It does not mean to record. So if you want to record something, you're not going to say, quiero recordar esto, because what you're saying is, I want to remember that. What you would say is, quiero grabar eso. I want to record that. Okay? Last one that I have for you guys is sopa does not mean soap. Sopa means soup. One letter difference, right? But it means soup. If you want to say soap, like do you have any soap? ¿Tienes jabón? Okay, jabón. That's the word for soap. Y con eso, gracias por acompañarme en este viaje de aprendizaje. Now, if you have any other cognates that you know of, leave them in the comments below and we can exchange ideas. And maybe you'll see it in the future video. But if you have any other questions, feel free to let me know and I'll do my best to help you. Hasta luego!